must do when you're buying, like Arsenal and I do. When you buy properties, you buy them as is. He bought this property, they had an illegal structure here. So part of this thing, Arsenal had to destroy it. Couldn't keep it. It wouldn't pass code, wouldn't pass appraisal, wouldn't pass inspection.
Hey, what's good, guys? I'm at Santos' latest flip at 42nd Place. So I always like walking other flippers' properties because I can see what they do, and you know, it gives me ideas. You know, I'm not always gonna do the same thing as someone like Santos. You know, we're gonna have our differences, but that's a good thing. You know, you always want to have your own taste and choices when it comes to aesthetics of a house.
Also, we're Lions Den. You know Arsenal. That's props. This is how real people get into flipping. You guys have known Arsenal now with me almost a year now. 61st, 97th. You know what I mean? This is the guy who you want to be. He hates me saying that, but it's true. This guy will be far beyond what I am in 10 years. Remember, he's 25 years younger than me. I wish I had someone like him at my age. That way I would have learned better the do's and don'ts. Because to be honest with you folks, every flipper you ask, everyone you talk to will tell you do's and don'ts. The choices they made poorly, choices they made great. I made some excellent choices in my career. I made some poor choices. They've cost money. And when the choices cost you money, Arsenal knows, financially, they hit you in the pocketbook, man.
Every penny counts.
Every penny counts. If you don't think so when you start flipping, you will learn that. Every time you choose a higher end cabinet or better price flooring or 2x4s cost $1.49 versus 2x4s cost $2.09. That 20 cents over 1,000 freaking 2x4s costs you $1,000, man, everywhere else. So anyways, just walk to the property. Arsenal will give you his rundown what he thinks. I'll tell you what I'm doing. And we'll see how that goes. Again, we all have our own choices. Each of you flippers out there will be your own person, your own ideas, and your own team. Let's walk inside, check it out. Now, with this house, I normally like to do refinish hardwood floors and make them beautiful. We started that with my daughter's first house, and then we started that ever since. That's been our kind of signature thing now. This house, our guy Carlos said, it cannot be done. This floor is too damaged, he can't save it. So, as you can see, we bought $3,000 worth of flooring over here. So now the guys are putting in the hard plywood, cover up all the, you actually show them here. So this is where you put plywood in to make the same height as original flooring. That way it's even. We're gonna get this flooring, run it all over it. So we'll use this is Costco flooring. Hey Costco, what's up? And we're gonna use this flooring all throughout the house. This house originally was a 3-1, kind of like a 2-1, but they had a third bedroom, which was like 5 by 7. They considered a bathroom, a bedroom. We have expanded that. We have taken the kitchen from back here and moved it up here to the front. You guys know we don't care about I want kitchens all day. So now we canceled these 2 windows, we canceled them, put a new centered window to go over the sink. We can see the hot water and cold, excellent. So now, the thing about refinishing houses and rehab and remodeling, you do whatever you want. It's like playing Legos. So now we have the kitchen here, changed this layout for this door. The exit was on this side, we moved it. We have a third bedroom over here with the guys are working right now. And again, you'll see, they're leveling the floors with the plywood to make them even, because we're gonna run. So, and then over here, you can see, we have the first bedroom, which was really weird at first. Now, fully finished, retrofit windows. We have hallway bathroom, vanity here, toilet, obviously brand new tile. You can see through the plastic because they're painting the walls. Brand new everything. And then the master bedroom, which is out here, brand new floors, plywood, his and her closet, recessed lighting, retrofit windows, and of course, master bathroom. You got dual vanity over here, boom, boom. You put your teeth all up. Brand new painting, brand new electrical, and of course, stand-up shower right up here. New tile. You actually see the tile. You have to go ahead and open this a little bit. I shouldn't do it, but you see the tile through there, all the new hardware. And then under here, see the new tile flooring. Oh yeah. Each of you flippers will do your own thing. Arsenal has his idea, I have my idea. My thing is to make sure that he's making the right choices and not the wrong choices that I made. Now, with that being said, his choices will be his hallmark on the properties that he flips. So please go follow Shad's Props, watch his videos, watch what he does, so you understand what someone who's a real person who started off calling me the questions is now flipping houses, baby. He's flipping houses while you're watching our channel. So remember that.
Okay, so as you guys can see, I turned this into an open concept layout, which is what's selling right now. So, oh yeah, and then this door. So I always like replacing the doors in my flips. But this one, it's a really solid door. It's really nice. They don't make them like this anymore. So I'm gonna keep it, just refinish it, repaint it, and it's good.
It even has like, so we're doing doors. It's something I should actually show Isabel. She's not as good. So like, you make sure that on the sides, there's not a bunch of holes driven in. When you drill any wood or any steel or anything, you weaken the structure. This has the original bolt things and those. So these, replace these.
Yeah.
Door's fine. And it has
little people. Who's
there? What you want, man? Let's tell ourselves $8,000. That's money in his bank.
So also in my flips, I like having really large windows in the living room. So as you can see here, it's covered right now. So, you know, nobody can look inside, whatever. So there's 3 big windows. So that brings a lot of natural light in. Natural light is a really big selling point too. Okay, so as we come over here, we have the kitchen. Right now the island hasn't been built yet, but there's gonna be a 7-foot island. So when the buyers walk into the house, the first thing they're gonna see is the island. That's gonna catch their attention. You know, it's gonna stand out from the rest of the properties on the market right now. And then you have the rest of the kitchen back here. You know, standard dishwasher, sink, fridge right behind me.
Now, real quick, folks, just so you learn, like when Arsenal learning when you're building houses, do not mess around with wiring. People tend to think that you can go cheap, you can go either. If you want to go cheap on, like, say, freaking your tile, or you want to go cheap on, like, your staging, do not mess around with wiring. If you burn a house down, you are going to jail. Remember that, you're going to freaking jail. Not you're going to lose a thing or go to court, you're going to jail. Don't mess around with wiring. Electrical current is a serious thing, which is why electricians have a C10 license, which is why engineers have a license. Do not mess around. Same thing with building a house with structure. Arsol put in a, what was that, 4x12?
Yeah.
I can see by looking at it, put in a 4x12, probably 20 foot long. You must put in structurally sound supports. If you guys ever built dominoes or got cards and stacked them, they won't stand without the structure having the weight displacement. So Arsol did the right thing. All of this is done correctly. Romex wiring, supports, make sure you do the right thing. He's doing a good job.
You know, if you don't use the right beam, you know, if your contractor cheaps out, over time it can start sagging. So that's the next homeowner is gonna notice that. Okay, so as we come over here, I did have to do a bit of reframing over here. So I had to turn this into a full bathroom because before it was only a half bathroom. So Santos was telling me to put in a 3rd bathroom. You know, I decided not to because it was too much redesigning and reframing. So, you know, I just want to be in and out fast. So, you know, I was just like,
speed is the winner.
Yeah, so I just want to be in and out fast, make my money. So, you know, just kept it as a 3-2. Okay, so as you come in here, right from the hallway, so we have the little kids room. So this is probably for you know, 5-year-old, 7-year-old. You know, a little closet right here. It's not actually little. It's really big. So a lot of space for the kids' clothes over there. And then right here, I turned this one into the master room. So this is the master now. I extended it 2 feet. So this would be the biggest room in the house. And then we have the walk-in closet right there. That was already there. I just made the door a little bigger, a little wider. And then I turned this into the master bathroom. So right here, you're gonna have the dual sink vanities, the double sink vanities, which I love. And then you're gonna have a really big walk-in shower right here with a window and a big shower niche as well.
Quick FYI, folks, when you're doing double vanities, this is something I learned on the way after doing 100 foot flips. Most standard double vanities are 60 inches. I thought that was the minimum requirement. They sell 48-inch double vanities, which means that's 12 inches, a whole foot. If you have less space, you can make them work in. If you have space, like Arsenal does, well, make it nice. You want to have that room. But I've still made master bedrooms with master restrooms, the 48-inch dual vanity. They're online, check them out.
So as we come into the back room over here, it's a pretty spacious room, you know, for a teenager. And then we have the walk-in closet as well for this room. And then there are a lot of windows in this room. They're just covered up right now. They have to cut the drywall. So there's gonna be a window right there, window right here, window right here. So 4 windows in this room. And then I am bringing one of the AC units right here since this room didn't have it. So that's just me over there. And then, so the floor. So this is really nice hardwood floor that can be restored. So right now I have to decide if I want to keep it and restore it or LVP or laminate. But you know, I am leaning towards now keeping the floor because it just looks a lot nicer than LVP or laminate. You know, hardwood is really nice. It's really pretty. Okay, so right now the guys they've put all the drywall in. They're just putting the mud on it, taping it tomorrow. And then the windows are here too. So you're gonna get started on the windows tomorrow. So that's where we're at right now with 93rd. So I had to redesign this area, as I said earlier. So the laundry's gonna go right here. There wasn't a dedicated laundry space before, so this can be a stackable one. You know, save space, it's more efficient, more convenient. And then there's gonna be a little storage area right here. So, you know, wherever the homeowner, they wanna put their vacuum, they need space for their vacuum. They don't wanna walk to the garage to go get their vacuum, So with this house, there was no really big ticket items that I had to take care of. The roof is in really good condition. The tile roof is in really good condition. The foundation was flawless. There was no dips in the floor or anything. It's on piers. You know, it looked really nice.
I prefer crawl space properties over slab. Slab, you got to cut in the concrete. You got to dig in, move pipes and stuff, which is why crawl space there. Here, you can a G-Stack guy, anybody. You and me and ourselves crawling to here, see the piers, see everything, bruh. Yeah. It's just an easier job, in my opinion. IMO.
Okay, so as we go here, garage. So I do have an option of turning this into an ADU if I wanted to. The neighbors, The guy who flipped the neighbor's house, they turned it into an ADU, the garage. So I could, but barely. Yeah.
That's rent money, folks. Rent money. Nice.
So for the garage, you know, I'm just gonna have to do a little bit of repairs, you know, in the back, because the back half there is leaks in there, and then there's a little bit of termite damage I have to take care of. You know, nothing major.
And then, folks, don't forget the things you must do when you're buying, like Arsenal and I do. When you buy properties, you buy them as is. He bought this property. They had an illegal structure here. So part of this thing, Arsenal had to destroy it. Couldn't keep it. It wouldn't pass code, wouldn't pass appraisal, wouldn't pass inspection. So I was kind of like uppy with him. I was like, what do you do with it, man? Do you want to keep it or something? And I was kind of pressing to keep it, but he's the boss. His choice, he said.
Wall. So I'm gonna be doing a little wood privacy extension on the back one and on this side one over here. You know, just more privacy. The water heater right here is good. You know, it would have cost me at least $1,000 to replace, but it's good. I just have to put new connections, save a little bit of money there. With the HVAC unit, this was already here. The last homeowner maybe spent 10 grand on this. I'm just gonna have to repair it. I thought I was gonna spend 2 grand, but I'm only gonna spend 800 to repair it. So I came under budget on that too, save a bit of money. With the city, putting the meter in, they're just slow, but it's not gonna be too expensive. You know, there was no ground wire in the entire house. So I had to come in and replace this anyway. So I'm gonna upgrade this to 200 amps. So it's, you know, new and modern, you know, up to today's standards. This one I picked up for 560K. The ARV is 799, and my rehab is coming out to 90 to 95, even though I underwrote it at 100. So it's gonna be a really nice profit margin on this one. You know, always, you have to buy right. You know, that's the biggest thing. If you're a house flipper, that's the #1 rule you have to abide by. You have to buy right, and you always wanna underestimate your ARV and overestimate your rehab. You're never gonna go wrong if you do both those things.
Make your profit, make you some money, bruh. We're here to help you. Like, subscribe, Lions and out.